The media probably will not reveal this to you, but essentially, the United States and China are in a Cold War. And this geopolitical conflict definitely has implications for the risk profile of these Chinese companies that are listed on US exchanges through ADRs. I'll prove this very dynamic to you by showing you a comparison of the two largest e-commerce companies in the world. Alibaba reported nearly $23 billion of revenue in 2020, while Amazon reported about $21 billion in the same time period. Yet, Amazon actually has a market capitalization that is nearly 4 times that of Alibaba's. Without the factor of unpredictability that comes with being subject to the scrutiny of China's Communist Party, Baba's stock would probably be worth north of $750 per share. My name is Blake, and on this episode of 9 to 5 Investing, I'm going to explain exactly what is going on between the United States and China. I'm going to talk about how this is affecting Chinese securities that are listed on United States exchanges, and finally, I'm going to answer the question, should we be feasting on Alibaba's stock like we're a pack of hungry vultures that just found fresh meat on the side of the road? There's very little question about it. Assuming that you believe the financial figures that Alibaba has published to their investors over the years, then you probably would agree with me that they have a phenomenal business going here. Alibaba has a compound annual growth rate of about 38.6% from 2016 to 2021. Now I want everyone to realize something. That is ridiculous. That is actually phenomenal revenue growth for a company to sustain over all of those years. Alibaba also has a healthy net emphasis on net profit margin of 21% for the 2020 fiscal year. Now, generally on this channel, we talk about actually operating and gross profit margins because these popular technology companies generally lose money in pursuit of growth, but not Alibaba. All that being said, Alibaba clearly has a phenomenal business going for it in China, one that really essentially mirrors Amazon in the United States. But the key difference between Alibaba and Amazon is that Alibaba is subject to the authoritarian Chinese government. And even worse, for the dedicated shareholders of Baba's stock, the tensions between the United States and China have been getting worse and worse over the last several years. I don't care whether it's Fox News or CNN. The media will spend all of their time fear-mongering you, triggering your emotions, talking about topics that frankly push forward their respective political narratives. Why? Because they make advertising dollars, triggering your negative emotions, which causes you to watch for longer and longer. And they also just want to cater to the goals of their advertisers and the owners of each respective network. And oftentimes, mostly because the media is so politically and financially motivated, the most important stories actually don't make it on air. I'm really interested to hear from anyone that watches cable news on any sort of a consistent basis. Have they actually discussed the fact that there are Chinese warplanes flying near Taiwan in record numbers in 2021? My guess is probably not, but maybe I'm a bit too pessimistic about the ability of cable news to deliver important information to its viewers. Either way, you have got to understand that Taiwan is a key source of conflict between the United States and China. This is for a simple reason. Taiwan actually has a democratically elected government, but China actually wants to annex Taiwan to be a part of China. Taiwan is a key ally to the United States. The United States generally helps back the defense of Taiwan as a sovereign country, but China wants to test this as much as possible. They want to test if the United States will actually continue to defend Taiwan if they keep pushing things farther and farther. Taiwan is particularly relevant from a strategic perspective because Taiwan is home to the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. The Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company actually manufactures almost all of the chips around the world that make mobile phones, computers, cars, countless other complex electronics actually function. Now, just to be clear, companies like Apple and Qualcomm are the ones actually designing these chips, but it is the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company that actually makes them. Analysts say that it would theoretically be very difficult for any company in the entire world to actually be able to catch up to the chip manufacturing capabilities of the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. There's actually already a global shortage of these chips. Can you imagine how catastrophic it would be if China actually invaded and annexed Taiwan and forced the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company to only produce chips for China? This would be absolute chaos. It would be a catastrophe for companies and consumers around the world. This is exactly the type of thing that the United States and China would actually get into a war over. These international tensions bleed into additional risks and even drama for these Chinese securities that are listed on United States exchanges. And yes, this includes Alibaba stock. Didi Global, a Chinese version of Uber that recently IPO'd, made Chinese regulators very angry. This Uber of China made Chinese regulators very angry because they actually pushed forward with their IPO despite regulators' concerns over their network security. And what do you know? Just days after Didi completed their IPO, government regulators in China actually announced major government probes into the company, and they essentially forced Didi to suspend all new user registrations until further notice. So that doesn't apply to Alibaba, correct? Why does this whole situation with Didi have any relevance at all for Baba stock? Well, at the very least, it is a painful reminder about how much control China actually has over any businesses that do business in China. Just last fall, Jack Ma lightly criticized regulators in China for stifling innovation in the financial technology industry. The consequences to Jack Ma were excessive and harsh. Chinese regulators actually shortly thereafter announced that they were suspending the $34.5 billion IPO of Alibaba's fintech affiliate, Ant Group. Regulators charged Alibaba with a $2.8 billion fine that was a result of an anti-monopoly probe that was initiated shortly after this speech. This type of thing would never happen in the United States or any developed Western country, and this type of government interference is exactly what makes investing in Chinese stock so risky. If you own shares of Alibaba or any other stock that is based in China, then you have to understand that your investment is subject to the fleeting actions of the Chinese government. I mean, if Jack Ma does the slightest thing to actually piss off these regulators, then there's a chance that they could just say, hey, we are suspending your business for an unspecified amount of time. Now, I'm not necessarily suggesting that something so drastic as the complete suspension of business would happen to a company that is so consequential to the Chinese economy, but you just never know. It is definitely possible. They did it to Didi. Didi is a $4 billion IPO, by the way, whereas Alibaba is a market cap that is almost $600 billion. Anything could happen to Alibaba. It's just up to the people running the Chinese government. So I say all of this to tell you, I am a massive believer in Alibaba's business and long-term growth trajectory. I actually want to invest in this behemoth of a technology company, especially at $200 per share. But I cannot stomach the risks that come from Chinese regulators and international conflict. I think that there's a chance that they could significantly affect Alibaba's business in the future. I'm going to continue to pay attention to the regulatory environment in China and the ongoing conflict between China and the United States. And if there are further developments that make me a lot more comfortable about investing in Chinese security, I'll update you on this channel. But I don't think that there will be any major systematic changes in China without some sort of significant international conflict. And of course, I definitely don't want that to happen. I'll leave it there for now. If you want to stay updated on this type of information and other opportunities in the stock market, then smash that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like. It's free to do, and it really helps me with beating that competitive YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through, as there is no 9 to 5 investing without you. I hope you have a very bullish day. If you would like to watch a video about Jack Ma's speech that really made Chinese regulators angry, then click the thumbnail on the left. If you want to watch a video about another e-commerce company that has been trending on Reddit for weeks, then click the thumbnail on the right.